What's up, everybody? Back for another Honkai Star Rail video. Today's video is going to be more of a general talk about the channel. As of right now, Saridra is the current banner and the current new character, right? I mean, I don't think we've ever had new characters at once besides Archer and Saber, right? But that doesn't technically count because it's a collab, it's not normal, right? But regardless, Saridra is the newest character. Now, unfortunately for YouTube standards, because, Star Wars doesn't have the most content, so most of the time, if you want to upload every single day, which is what I used to do, and I still want to, it's just a bit harder. Obviously a summon video about the character, taking her through the end game modes, a couple different teams, and you could probably milk out like maybe a week and a half worth of content, right? However, the banners are out for like 23 days, I think is the total amount, right? So that still leaves quite a bit to talk about, so you got to fill that in with whatever, right? And it's become increasingly harder because back then, there'd be like a new 4-star you can talk about, a event that has like 4 stars in it. It's like, okay, which one should you get? Most people have them all maxed out or just don't use them at all anymore, right? Or there's just general like new content to talk about. And Star Wars has been pretty damn dry, so it's a little hard to make videos that isn't just like talking the talk, right? Which I know some people like, but some people definitely be like, oh my god, this guy's fucking yapping again. Holy hell, like, what are we doing? And then other people will be like, oh wow, we were trying to clickbait, and it'll be like the most simplest title ever. Like, it'll be like, why you shouldn't summon for Saridra. It's like, oh my god, this is such clickbait. It's like, bro, like, whoa, like, what am I supposed to title the video? Saridra pull or like pull? No, yes. Like, I don't understand. Anyway, obviously not playing for the character means even less content, right? And ironically enough, I say that there's not a lot of content. I actually haven't done the events yet. I've been busy doing other stuff, right? But unfortunately, I don't really think my channel is suited for playing these events. Maybe if I was a bigger YouTuber, I could get away with it, right? But I don't think people come to my channel to watch me play the mini games. The mini games are also pretty, just really, really easy for the most part, and it's pretty much just syncing like the hour to 20 minutes that some of them are. I believe this one is really fast if you skip all the dialogue. People have been saying it's like 20 minutes long, and then this one's a bit longer because there's actual gameplay to it, which I have seen this. It is, it does look rather fun. Not like I'd sink hours and hours into it, but for like a mini game for Starro, I'll give it a pass, right? But otherwise, for actual content, which I like to cover, the actual gameplay of Star Rail, which is using your 4 characters, clearing, content, there's not too much, right? Now, there is a new endgame mode that it should be coming out, I believe, next patch. So when this ends, so pretty much in about 17 days, 19 hours, granted, give it an extra day after that because there's, maintenance, whatnot. We will have the new endgame mode. So until then, there's not really too much to talk about, unfortunately, until we get like the live stream. I think Drip Market is happening soon. I'm probably gonna end up working. Depending on who it is, I might make like a tweet about it, I guess. And then I'll just come home and talk about it if it's important. I imagine that we're gonna be getting something pretty exciting. So hopefully Star Rail after this patch picks up. I imagine March and Don Hang will be not like a filler patch, but it won't be anything super crazy besides the end game mode. So hopefully the end game mode is cool enough and has enough content to like last until we get to the more hype, because we still need Cyrene, and we still need a few other characters that were probably like Mr. Rika is like in purgatory with Screwlam at this point, right? But hopefully we get some like super exciting characters like Phanon, where people are just like super locked into Star World. But at the time, that's not really it, right? Now, obviously, the best way to counter this is to cover a second game. However, YouTube is pretty picky about that, so I've pretty much just been locked to, if I want to cover another game, it has to be a Hoyo game. For the most part, I'm sure a lot of you just wouldn't really care if I just pulled out like, Dokkan or Pocket TCG or something like that and started playing it. You'd probably be like, I'm not really a fan of the game. I'm here for Star Rail. However, there is a new Honkai game that's coming out that's actually pretty interesting and has caught me. So I'm hoping that if I do both, that the dead periods for one game can be filled with content for the other, and go back and forth. That way I can upload every single day. At least that's the plan. Now this game has a closed beta coming soon for Nexus Anima. I pretty much used every single email I know and a bunch of my friends also went in. So hopefully we can get some content on that. Now, Nexus Anima is a auto chess game. If you don't know what auto chess is, I never played an auto chess game. Funny enough, my friend recommended, right, because I like Pokemon. If you haven't noticed, I have a Pikachu profile picture. Pokemon auto chess, right? And let me just go ahead and like start it off. So this is how it works. I'm not too sure how the Honkai version is going to go. Just because obviously it's gonna be a gotcha if you maybe your like character, like right now I'm Vicky Volt, right? Shout out to the goat, and you kind of just are here. So the whole point of auto chess, right, is like, okay, so like there's Hoppips, right? And I bought a Hoppip, so I have a Hoppip. Bought one, and then if I get a third one, it evolves into Skiploom. Obviously, if they evolve in the Honkai game, then maybe Pokemon Company will be like, yo, what the heck? But the whole purpose of this, right, is just it's auto chess, right? And then you put your stuff out like, oh, there's a Litwick and a Litwick, like this. There's synergies. There's already types. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry, I just realized. There's synergies right here you can see, and this is pretty much the gameplay, right? You be like, oh, I want this character in front of this because it's tankier, this guy is range, yada yada. And when the timer ends, you fight, right? It's pretty straightforward, right? Now, obviously, I don't know how much this is gonna correlate. I know there's team fight tactics, right? I'm not into League, so I feel like this one was a bit easier to get into because I know a lot about Pokemon. I get a general idea, right, compared to the League one. I'm sure it'll probably be more about the League one than actual, Pokemon auto chess. That's just like a browser game, right? It's not actually affiliated. But I'm getting into that. The gameplay is pretty fun. Hopefully, a lot of that stuff transfers over to Nexus Anima. But I am going to try out TFT to get like a big, knowledge check on auto chess games. But like I said, this is probably going to be the second game I cover on the channel. It is another Honkai game. It's another Hoyoverse game, and there is a bit of strategy to it, so it is engaging. At least that's what I think, right? Also, shout out to people who follow Rivals Leaks and Info. Shout out to Marvel Rivals. Been pretty fun. I finally got Diamond, which I know isn't too impressive, right? But I mean, hey, is what it is. Other than that, though, there's not too much else I would ever consider covering on this channel to kind of fill the hole that is the lack of content in Star Roll and stuff to cover in general, just because YouTube is like super picky, right? But let me know in the comments below if there was to be another gacha game added to the channel, what would y'all like it to be, right? As it stands, it's really just Nexus Anima that I'm probably going to go into. And yeah, hopefully it blows up and it's pretty popular, right? I mean, it doesn't have too many followers at the moment on Twitter compared to some of its other ones, but to be fair, it's barely even had like anything. I remember they started posting like a month ago, I think, a couple weeks ago. I'm not too sure. But anyway, hopefully when the closed beta comes out, granted I get in because you can make content on it. If I don't get in, then it might be wraps right then and there, considering probably all the big heads like Braxophone and all them, and like Poke will probably get in, like guaranteed. I gotta cross my fingers to get in, right? But yeah, no, that's pretty much like the channel update. I mean, I have another job, I guess, so like that's cool. So I don't have the most time to make videos anymore, but I still have enough time to record just to have a video up every day. But that's if there is content that isn't just me sitting here for like an hour and a half being like, what the hell do I do? Oh, does this sound good? Oh, I didn't really like this video, it's not good enough, I don't want to do it. Like there's a lot of time burnt just trying to think of ideas, and then like you try to execute them and then you're just like, yeah, it's not gonna work out, right? Because I don't want to just open up a video and be like, yep, here's Silver Wolf that we've seen a million times, or here's why I didn't summon for Surya for the fourth time, or like, oh, like I said, I don't think anyone cares about me doing the drink event, which is just mix done. But anyway, for the sake of not dragging out this video any longer than it has to be, let me know what you guys think of the current state of Honkai Star Rail. Are you excited for the new endgame content? Do you think it'll spice up the game a lot? Do you think it'll still be stale as always? What do you think of Honkai Nexus Anima? Let me know, and of course, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.